Analyze the language he's using. This is something that happened to him.
I look back, the first time we talked about this was over a month ago. And the story just continues to drip and drip and drip and drip. We are talking about the Completionist and his charity story and how there's, oh my gosh. Okay, so quick recap. Completionist has this charity for 10 years, didn't give any of the money to where they said it was going to go, held it in a bank account, got called out on it, panicked. A couple of videos were released, made him look really bad. He released a video, didn't bring any receipts, and it's really just been a very bad situation across the board. It makes charities look bad. It makes YouTubers with charities look bad. This doesn't help either, as there was a call between Carl and Mudahar and the Completionist, a three-way call, which was featured in those videos. And that was recorded as it rightfully should have been in any sort of setting like that. So it was recorded, and Carl Jobst released on his Discord a snippet of it. And it's pretty crazy to hear. Now, I think it actually makes a lot of sense, because what you're listening to is a guy who's seeing his entire life go up in flames at this point. But let's go and listen to this, about 1 minute and 30 seconds of this conversation here as to what happens, because this is a lot here. And like I said, the story just won't end.
The last thing I want to do is ruin the legacy of my family, of my mom and her memory, especially because this is such a personal thing for the last 25 years of my life. I'm not trying to be like, do you guys want money to help me hide this? It's not what this is at all.
Which is always like one of those things where you go, this is not what I'm doing, by the way.
Right.
But here we are. So
if a guy who knew a guy sauntered by and offered you a great big bag of money and a big Scrooge McDuck money bin,
right.
theoretically, would you dive headfirst into it and do the fucking backstroke?
Which, by the way, I'm not offering that, by the way.
Which is absolutely not happening, theoretically, possibly in Minecraft.
I'm just saying, maybe. Continue.
Money to help me hide this? It's not what this is at all. I'm just asking from a humanity perspective of, like, if I am the target of this, I have 20 mouths to feed. I have sponsors. I have a business. I'm trying to make video games. I'm trying to get out of content creation so I don't have to worry about YouTube anymore and do better things in the world.
By the way, all us YouTube slummers over here, we're doing bad things in the world. All us slubs here on YouTube.
I can sympathize with feeling like YouTube is not particularly stable. It's like fucking building your house on a fault line. Like, I get that. YouTube's fucking insane.
Right.
But when has fucking Gerard the Completionist ever done anything edgier than fucking Teletubbies, like, on his goddamn channel? Like, seriously, is he really at risk of fucking anything? He would, if there was a YouTube moderator here, he would drop Trow and blow him right there. Like, are you fucking shitting me? I don't get that at all. I honestly, he's trying to move on up to something bigger, probably, is what he's really saying there.
Exactly. Well, right. And he tried that with G4. Right.
Yeah, which, talk about lack of discernment. Could you not see that reboot was going to fucking blow up from the very beginning? This is the problem. How many people did he cut out of his fucking life who could have been like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Don't join G4. What the shit? How many fucking people who would have told plain truth to him who he fucking canceled because they vote for the wrong fucking people?
I mean, I'm sure the G4 had to have been because of clout, right? It was like, G4 is coming back. Oh, I want to be a part of this. You know, it had to have been the feather in the cap aspect of things. That was the whole reason why he did it, right? And pretty much free money, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I guarantee JonTron, if he had fucking had a conversation with him, if he hadn't canceled that motherfucker or Pro Jared or whoever he fucking threw under the bus, I'm sure they would have been like, hey, wait a minute, joining G4 in fucking 2020? What the hell are you doing, bro? What the fuck?
Right. Well, let's continue here, because he gets into a couple of those names you mentioned.
And I just know, because of my track record of things like G4 exploding, me being friends with JonTron when he was a racist, I've been a part of, like, Pro Jared, like, pulling one
Yeah.
thread about the charity thing is going to upheave my entire life in a way that scares the living crap out of me. And
as it probably should. Like, and the idea of him just to like throwing those guys under the bus. Like, oh, look, I've made no secret. Like, Jared and I don't get along at all. I've never been friends with Jared. He was a guy who worked for me, and we didn't get along well at all, right? But that still doesn't mean I don't want to see people succeed, right? And I still, that still doesn't mean that I don't think that it's fair for him to be brought into this situation or try to be wranglered in because, well, this is the thing. I knew this guy once. How sorry can you be? Like, that's sorry. I mean, people pointed this out, reeks of desperation at this point.
We'll analyze the verbs, analyze the language he's using. This is something that happened to him, right? It's not something that he did.
Right.
Not a mistake that he made. It's this thing could, he used upheave, the word upheave. This will upheave my life. It's like, this will upheave. This is happening to me. This is a thing that occurred independently of my actions. That always is a big tell.
Right. And this is something that he came out initially, was like, I take responsibility for it. Right. But now he's playing the, what do I need to do to make sure this doesn't get out aspect of things? And he's absolutely scared. And you hear this, you can tell he's like trembling as he's saying this, because this is a man reeking of desperation at this point.
I don't want to go home tonight and tell everyone, hey, there is a gigantic thing coming to claim my career, and you all have to close down and find somewhere else to do. I know this is shitting me to say this. I'm not trying to ask for sympathy or anything, but this kind of stuff, I mean, I've been following you guys.
Actually, yes, he is. He actually is asking for sympathy in this situation. 100%. I have 20 mouths to feed. I have this, I've been associated with all these things. Oh, gosh. Sorry.
This is stuff for years. The stuff with Billy Mitchell, Carl, the stuff that you've done, Muto, with tons of content creators over the years. Like, there's no nuance to this. People are going to see this and they're going to immediately go, that Gerard guy who's been nice to a bunch of people actually isn't very nice overall. Fuck him. Let's get rid of him. And
that's where it ends. And you know what? He's right. He's right. And I think that's the crazy thing. I've had a wait and see with this the entire time. I try not to jump on people in these type of situations, but this is, it's honestly sad. Gerard has always been nice to me, and people see me like my tweet on this was like, if this is real, even, and that's even crazy to say, like, with all the AI stuff that's out there, but like, holy crap. Right. And
this may be one of the last, like, think about it. This may be one of the last kind of internet controversies before AI makes all these kind of things completely unreliable.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And exactly. That's kind of where we're at now. There are some things in this that obviously the Discord, glitching and stuff that I don't think you can really replicate with AI yet. Maybe you can, but I don't know. But like, even me just saying like, hey, if this is real, this is really bad. But some people are like, oh, you simp, if it's real, of course it's real, But like, I've said all along, like, if he's done bad things, which it's obvious that he's done, send him to jail, give him some sort of punishment. He absolutely deserves it. But I don't think it's fair for him, especially in that setting, to kind of throw other people under the bus. JonTron, when he was racist, like
when he was, it just matter of factly, like, there's no debate to be had on that subject. A complete asshole move. Although you wonder what the prelude to that conversation was. Were the other hosts calling him racist too? Because the guys that are interviewing him and the guys who made these videos are giant floppy knobs too. So they could very well have called JonTron racist before that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's necessarily true, but either way, Gerard even agreeing with it is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I've never had any interaction with Carl or Mutahar before, so I don't really know about them, and but they've also made no bones about it. This is the one thing I appreciate about Carl. I saw a post that he made. He's like, "Look, I make videos to make money, right? That's what I do for a living," and he's not hiding behind the idea that he's like trying to be some, I'm doing this for charity. I'm doing this for whatever. He's like, no, I make these videos to make money. And this is a subject that people obviously care about. And it's like I said, this has been an ongoing story for a month, and it's just, you wonder if he'll ever be able to recover from this. When I say he, I mean the completionist, Gerard.
You know what he needs? He needs a rapping genie with an attitude.
Oh, good call. God, man,
hey,
does
Kobe, pass the ball, Kobe.
do you think that he'll, like, we'll ever see Gerard come back in any way, shape, or form from this, or is he done?
If he continues to react, it honestly, a lot of this is entirely his making through his reaction. That's really what it is. Honestly, yeah, the initial drama tornado or whatever would have hit him really hard. He might well have taken a hit to his income, but his complete non-reaction, lack of taking any responsibility, the kind of combative video that he put out where he didn't have any receipts really, so the combative nature and tone wasn't really justified, right? When Pro Jared put out his video and was like, receipt, like longer receipt than fucking Circuit City. You remember those motherfuckers? Here, he had like some kind of license for actually being like, yeah, well, leave me the fuck alone because I have all the receipts you could fucking ask for.
Right.
Gerard didn't really have that in that video. He kind of explained context and like he kept explaining definitions of words and things, and it's like, okay. And then at the end, he was just like, I will not stand idly by, and blah, blah, blah. He did that standard thing. It seemed totally unjustified.
I agree. And which is, I think the biggest thing with this whole story is it's just sad. It's just sad that a guy who everyone thought was this big cuddly teddy bear, like you said, he's never gone out of his way to have an opinion that wasn't mainstream, and he's gone out of his way to eliminate people that could potentially get him hurt. And like I said, Gerard's been nothing but nice to me, but at a certain point, you just got to look at it and be like, man, I was duped. And that's kind of how I feel here, this whole thing. I interviewed him a few years ago. We talked about his career. He gave this real passionate interview about, all the stuff that is his ups and downs in his life and his turn. And it's like, God, man, like I feel like a dummy,
It's people sometimes who feel the need to portray themselves as the nicest fuck in the room. A lot of times they're not. Right. A lot of times it is affectation. It's very, very rare is the Mr. Rogers who comes out of nowhere, and they are exactly what they appear to be. Mr. Rogers was just as much of a saint in real life, right, as he was on camera. Not many of those out there, maybe my grandma, like seriously.
I love the idea of your grandma being the best saint in the world. Don't we all wish our grandmas were like, we all think our grandmas were the greatest people ever, right?
She cut the crust off of my tuna salad sandwiches every single time. You get that woman's name out your mouth.
I love it. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.